I can hardly believe it's here. It's just wonderful. It's taken a lot of time and a lot of hard work to get here. About 10 months since groundbreaking, so it's just amazing. I want to say thank you, a few thank yous. First to the Bakers for having the foresight and the willingness to give back to Grand Rapids in this incredibly meaningful way. For the immense talent at Integrated Architecture and for the talent at Orion as well. For our incredibly patient staff here at Baker, they worked through this whole transition, putting up with all the disruption and all the mess. Thank you for all your extra hours you put in and the sacrifice that you made to make this day happen. We're done! For our new partnership with Icons Coffee, it's going to be great. We're very excited about what that brings to Baker and our store here. And to our customers who shopped through the rubble day after day. I had a few customers say to me, I won't be back till it's done. But for the most part, most customers just kept coming back. So saying, when's our store going to be done? So that's great. We want this morning to be less ceremonial and more of a celebration. So the agenda is quite simple. After Dwight says a few words and offers a prayer, there's food in the cafe, there's food in the community room, which is just east of the fireside room. Enjoy the store, enjoy each other, take a tour at your leisure, grab anyone with a Baker badge, there's silver, and say, take me on a tour, I'd love to see it. As you look around, I hope that you are as pleased with the store as I am, and that you enjoy it as much as I do. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm going to make some adjustments here based on height. I'm Dwight Baker, if we haven't met before. I made a badge and it fell off. So, how's that? Are we closer? How's that? Am I coming through? Yeah. That's better. All right. Shall we open in a word of prayer, please? Dear Lord and author of all good things, we come here to celebrate this time together and this opportunity to serve you. We ask your blessing on this building and these people here today. We ask in all that we do, we will praise you, that we will serve your kingdom, that we will do so humbly and gracious servanthood to the Lord Jesus Christ. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Well, this is kind of fun. We've been looking forward to this day for a year now, and as Sue mentioned, going through a lot of disruption, a lot of inconvenience to get to this point. But this is the day we are looking forward to, getting all together with a whole new building. Already a year ago, and we had a little ceremony. We broke up the building in March, and have been struggling ever since to get through this season. But this is what we've been looking forward to, and this event, this gathering, is entirely unique in my experience. But we do, our company does throw receptions for people on a fairly regular basis. We get everybody together, and it's always a great time. I've noticed over the years with this series of receptions that it's not the action at the podium that seems to be most memorable. It's not the speeches, but it's the time of getting together and finding friends in the community and getting to know each other. People come to me and say, oh, I met so-and-so at your reception, and we've been friends ever since. We've been getting together ever since. I love those stories. But these are satisfying reports, and I want to acknowledge that. But this is, as book selling, an explicitly communal activity. We're, of course, pleased with the design and the construction of the new building, but our wider ambition is to provide a space, a setting where the community can gather. We can enrich each other. Now, we do provide some very good books and some very good coffee, because we at the Baker family feel the community believers should be well-read and hyper-caffeinated. That's what we're looking for. It's a happy occasion. Some words are appropriate. I want to borrow them. Let's see, here we go. I'm going to borrow these from Marilyn Robinson. She's better known as a novelist, but she wrote a wonderful collection of essays. And I was just reading this last week, and I thought of this occasion. This is in an essay called Wondrous Love. And it's not about reading books, it's about her fondness for old hymns, taken from the name of the hymn. Marilyn Robinson writes, "There's another song I think about. I love to tell the story. The words are striking to me are these. I love to tell the story for those who know it best, seem hungering and thirsting to hear it like the rest. This is true. If Western history has proved one thing, it is that the narratives of the Bible are essentially inexhaustible." That's good for a publisher and bookseller to hear. Inexhaustible. There's our mandate right now. It'll never be over. She adds, "The Bible is terse. The Gospels are brief. And the result is that every moment in detail merits pondering and can always appear in richer light. That richer light is what the writers of the works behind you have been striving for. That's what's represented on the shelves there, is that search for the richer light. We designed this building with that in mind, so that in 6 hours, when the winter sun is set and it's dark out there, another winter night, the glow of this space will be out there on the pavement and on the people out there. It was set up with that in mind, with that effect, a search for the richer light. Marilyn adds, "The Bible is about human beings, human families, so we can bring our own feelings to bear in the reading of it. In fact, we cannot do otherwise. If we know the old story well enough to give it a life in our thoughts." And apparently the people at Baker Bookhouse cannot do otherwise. We've been selling books in Grand Rapids for 74 years. We've been at this space here for 32 years, 33 actually. And in gratitude for the community that has supported us for so long, we can now be in a space that is worthy of the sacred exchange that takes place here. So what happens next is up to this community. Let me frame it, let me borrow a term. I was a fine art major at Calvin College, and I ran across the writer Harold Rosenberg, a late art critic and writer. He came up with a term called anxious object. I propose that what you're standing in right here, right now, is an anxious object. Now, he used it in the context not of architecture, but art. An anxious object describes a created work that is anxious because it doesn't know its status until you, the viewer, you, the user, assign that status. That's what's happening right here. We've got a very handsome building, but this is just so many anxious rocks in a big pile until you, the community, fill this space. There's some wonderful books over there, but there are just so many anxious pages until you, the reader, engage in them, open them up, and gain access to the insight and the wisdom that's recorded there. So, with due respect to our history in this region, what happens next is much more important. So, however anxious, the people of Baker Bookhouse will be right here. And your Christian friends will be right here. And you want to be right here too. Thank you so much for coming today. Look around, enjoy the store, enjoy some food and companionship, and let's make the most of this time together. So, thank you so much.